Good afternoon, friends, and welcome to another episode of A Cup of Joe. It is Wednesday, the 31st, the final day in March, and I am your host, Joe, and I do have a cup of Joe, actually, today. Alright, so, where we are, went out and walked this morning, or this afternoon. I'm still working on shifting my schedule, so that's a thing. Need to get to bed earlier, get up earlier, so that I can do more in the morning. I also need to groom because my beard's a absolute disaster. It's like one side is like bigger than the other, so I don't know. I never had one before, so I just figured why not. I did do weigh in today. I was at 343, so I gained 3 pounds. Well, 343.5, so let's just round up to 344. So yeah, we'll do that once a week. We'll see where we're at come next week. I am doing I'm not so much meal planning, but I am trying to be more attentive to eating better where I was doing before. So salad and usually a prepared meal, and depending what time I get up, whether I eat breakfast or not. So, and just going from there. So right now I'm just doing the 3 miles. Probably do that for a week, maybe 2, depending on how I'm feeling. Because I do want to get back up to at least the 6 that I was doing prior to September. So there's not really any excuses not to do it. So yeah, I mean, that's what's going on. I would appreciate anybody who's watching this right now to send positive prayers and feelings towards my sister. Her stepfather, Donnie, is currently, from my understanding, in a hospice situation. So, honestly, I'm surprised he's lived this long. Dude's a battle axe, so. Just I hope that and pray that he does find the peace and treat at the end. So yeah, if you can, just send some positive thoughts and prayers towards her way. Her name's Teresa. So yeah, so to kind of pick up where we were yesterday, my dad had just been arrested for child abuse. And yeah, I just remember the coat that he had worn to church that day. Like, I just held on like it was a life raft and just cried and cried. And then I got home. And then I realized that I can do whatever I want. Well, maybe it wasn't the instant reality of things, but we had an Atari 2600. I was like, oh, cool, I can go play that now whenever I want. And that's what I started doing. So a lot of stuff happened. Like, in the time between that and 7th grade, there's a lot that happened to me. Ended up being put into I started getting into the point where, like, I want to steal stuff. So I don't know, a brush. I didn't really ever steal anything that I actually needed. It was just, started off with small stuff and then progressively got bigger. And yeah, I mean, there was no reason for it, I suppose. Actually, I don't know if that happened yet. What did start happening? Well, let's rewind a little bit. I think that actually comes later. So, with my dad not being there, my mom kind of started trying to. All of a sudden, she's got 4 boys. We're not listening now. The thing is my mom was an amazing woman for what she, for going through what she went through and everything else, and trying to raise us for the best that she can by herself. My mom had an amazing ability to be able to connect with other people. For instance, we would go to Chuck E. Cheese, right? And this isn't the Chuck E. Cheese that we have today. Like this is vastly different. When they actually had arcade games and stuff. But I mean, like we can go to Discovery. Like the two places that we went the most often was Discovery Zone, which was a big play-in place, like had an arcade and other stuff. It was amazing. It was amazing for a kid. I mean, it's like a huge hamster, tunnels and ball pits and just everything. It was really cool. And Chuck E. Cheese was the other place where we hung out a lot. And at both the places, my mom was able to make friends. Like basically just sit down and start talking with people, and all of a sudden we're getting rolls of tokens, free pizza. Discovery Zone, we were able to be there for free. Like, I mean, it was just like one of those things where like my mom just had that ability, and it was really cool, and she did try, and then she got into this. No, that didn't happen yet either. But I started to get to the point where I was having outbursts, right? Like, I mean, we're not just talking like, like you throw a temper tantrum, like, yeah, there was that. But like, I would like attack my mom, and like, looking back now, being 39 years old, looking back at that and just being like, the hell is going on? I don't know. I mean, the thing is like maybe 10 years. Like, I do have these, I'll bottle things up, not deal with things, and then it just takes a little bit of something and I'll snap. And while I don't lash out at anybody so much anymore, like, I definitely will take it out on objects. I'll scream, I'll be just saying stuff that I don't necessarily mean. It's like, it's almost like one of those things where you can feel the train coming off the tracks, and then it's like, you just can't stop. It just goes, and you feel like a complete ass afterwards. But I was having these outbursts and stuff, and so my mom was taking us to counseling. We were seeing, they put us on medication and other stuff, and it just wasn't helping. It didn't help that I wasn't taking the medication either. Like, I would take it and then hide it or whatever, because I didn't like how it made me feel. Whatever, with other various things. I don't know. But in any case, what ended up happening was they started to put me in and out. It was kind of like a week-long residential treatment center. It was actually called Charter Behavioral Health Systems in Phoenix. And so I was put there. I think initially it started as outpatient, where I would go there during the day for school, and then come home. And it was like this, because this was when I would think, I was about in 5th grade about this point. 5th, because I think it was like half of my 5th grade year I was institutionalized for the most part. So coming in and out of that, and then there was just this like really, and then they started putting me in there for weeks, for like a week at a time. Like, I would actually have a room and stay there. And I met a lot of people there. I think my mom was actually going there for a little bit too, not as an inpatient but outpatient. She actually met some people. I remember this guy who is kind of funny, is that I thought mom was kind of sweet on him. like for a little bit, I thought they were a thing. But she met this guy. It was this black guy, and I don't remember his name, but he was a sweet guy, and he would always come with us when Mom would take us bowling. Cause Mom got us into bowling leagues and stuff, and he'd always come and cheer us on. And he was a cool guy. For life of me, I can't remember his name, but he made Mom happy for a little bit, and no, I don't know what happened though. I mean, obviously my mom was married to my dad, though, so I mean, ultimately, I don't know how I would feel about that overall at that time. If I did find out, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have cared, to be honest. Anyways, we there was a specific night, and I remember this like crystal clear. I was playing with. We had gone out to, I think it was actually Chuck E. Cheese or something, and we came home, and I was playing with the Jurassic Park Jeep, the toy, and I don't remember exactly what transpired to set me off, but something, I just snapped, and like I attacked my mom. Like, she locked herself in the bedroom, and I remember just pounding on the door. And I don't really remember anything after that. What I do know is that I was put into charter for a week, and then they actually put me into a long-term residential center. It was called Windy Pain, and the goal, from my understanding, was to try and figure out, either try to figure out how for me to control my anger, or figure out what was going on. Like, I don't know. All I know is, honestly, that place did not help whatsoever. In fact, they did more harm, I think, than anything. Because, like, for me, I wasn't, I was a skinny kid, but, like, I wasn't fit. I couldn't do pull-ups, I couldn't do, those things, and, like, the PE teacher there was just a complete dick. He was always making fun of me. Like, being at charter, I started playing a lot of volleyball, and so, I was like, oh, cool, I'm liking volleyball, but then it's like, I went to Windy Pain, and all of a sudden this dude's just making fun of me, which is, to me, it's like the opposite of, like, so I stopped going to, I'm like, no, I'm not. I started working on this mural, and I remember there was a time where I was just like, yeah, I'm not going, you can try to make me and go, I'm not going to go to his class. Well, they sent the big guys with white coats after me, and they ended up sedating me and other things like that, so, but, like, I didn't want to go. Like, he just always made fun of me, and I just didn't want to go. Fuck him. Other things, too, like, they would put me in isolation and then took everything out of my room. The whole time, like, I was just screaming and fighting. During this time, like, there was an older... I was in 5th grade, so I don't know how old I would have been at this time, but there was a 16-year-old kid, his name was Billy, and, at this time, hormones are going crazy and other things like that, and, Billy took advantage of me, I suppose. But the thing is it's hard to really be like, well, what was going on, and the thing is like, I don't hold any ill will towards him at all. Like, we were all there, we're all messed up, and did he rate me in the temper terms? Like, I don't know what that constitutes anymore. Was I forced? Not necessarily. Was I taking advantage of? Yeah. he didn't force the point, I suppose, afterwards. So, um, but he was a good kid, you know. Like looking back, now he was a lonely kid. He loved the Lion King. So, but you know, like I said, like that place probably messed me up a lot more than it ever did help. So, you know, I tried to commit suicide. Well, okay, when I say try to commit suicide, it was a half-assed attempt, if anything. So, um, so yeah, I don't know. Either way, I was there for 3 months. Eventually, they sent me home. Basically, told my mom that hey, there's nothing that we can do. I did meet a lot of cool people there, though. I will say that. Like I met some of the staff there was really cool. Some of the male nurses were really really neat. Actually, there was a guy there that was a huge Trek fan, and he actually I actually met up with him again when the CPS came and took us from our mom and put us in. I was put into a group home for a couple weeks, and he was actually the guy who headed that place up. So, but the thing is that like, yeah, I saw a lot of things there. You know, I had a desk fall on my head when I was there. Like it just, I don't know. It wasn't a good time. But there was a lot of this out there was really cool though. So, um, but it opened up my eyes to a lot of the sexual things that I struggle with today too. So, you know, there was things that I would already been struggling with, and all of a sudden now I'm in this place, and it's just like it unlocked at pretty much everything. So, but yeah, eventually I got sent home. Mom around this time had, and this is actually when I started stealing stuff, was about this time. Mom had started to fall into like this deep depression, so all pretty much she was doing was just staying in bed like all the time. I mean, like it was to the point that like we had food in the fridge that was like growing clones of themselves. Like we had like an inch of trash along it was pretty much along in the entire house. Like it just wasn't good. Like I wanted to have friends come over, and I couldn't, you know, because I was embarrassed. Like I remember telling my friend Richard, I was like, "No, my house is a mess." He's like, "Well, it's just spilled milk." It's like, yeah, well, there's more than that, dude. So we cleaned. I tried cleaning up the living room because I wanted my friend Richard to spend the night. It took me 4.5 hours. Just to get the stuff up off the floor. Like I had like 3 or 4 trash cans. That's just the living room. That's not including the bedrooms, the hallways, the kitchen. And it was just, it just wasn't good. And then you know, and at this time, this is when, you know, I started, you know, stealing things, and I wanted to be cool. Like I wanted to be accepted from people. So, you know, I had some kids tell me, is like some of the older kids was like, "Oh, hey, go steal this, go break into this trailer and steal some. He's got some knives or something in there." So I did. I'm like, okay. Well, I got caught. So, and then I was arrested. And what's funny is, this is something I always make fun of my brother Chris about, was I remember when the cops were taking me to the house, and my brother Christopher was on top the house on the roof in his underwear dancing. It was I don't know, man. It was just, It was funny. Anyways, but yeah, so I got arrested, and my mom never showed up from the disposition hearing the next day, and so I was incarcerated for, I want to say it was probably 3 weeks. So, and at this point, my dad had come back into the picture to some extent as well. So, because he always used that against me. Well, I'm going to take you back to jail and stuff like that to try to control me. But, so, a lot of this stuff is just kind of jumbled together. I mean, this is even before I was like even 13, 12 years old. Like, it's a lot happened. Was institutionalized, was incarcerated. Then after I got out of juvie, I lost all my friends, like some of my best friends. Like, basically their parents were like, no, you can't play with Joe anymore. So, all of a sudden I'm finding myself alone, confused about a lot of things. So yeah, and then something awesome happens. Remember we left for school. We left for school one time, and the house was a mess as always. It was just a disaster. And we left in the time that we were at school. My friend's best friend Lorraine, the pastor's wife, I don't know if it was just her, but I'm pretty sure with the amount of stuff that happened that day, I'm pretty sure it wasn't just her. So, but her and some girls from church came and basically got her out of bed, and they cleaned the entire house. I mean, I'm talking it was spotless, when we came home. It smelled like potpourri again, like it was like day and night. And what's interesting is, from that point on, Mom was, she was good again for the most part. The house never got that way ever again. Mom kept it clean from that point forward, but Mom was getting to the point where she couldn't handle us either. And she started looking for alternatives, and for me, like, there's this place called Sunshine Acres, and it was kind of like this big group home. Well, my brothers ended up going there, and then I was put into a place called Hidden Valley Ranch School for Boys, and that was in Maricopa, Arizona. And that's pretty much where I spent my, from 8th grade to my junior year of high school. So we'll go over some of that in our next video. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, like I said, like, there's been a lot that I've gone through, a lot that I've seen. I wish I could have had a better, it's hard to say, dude, like, I don't know, because it's also the experiences that shape us too, but I was heading in a dark direction too, with the anger issues, with, being isolated, just being confused, with a lot of the sexual thoughts that I had, and it wasn't a good, I was heading to a path where, things could happen. So, but thankfully here we are now, here in 2021. So something changed, and we'll explore that here in the next episode. So, and we'll go over my years at the ranch, and the people that I met there, and the influences they had on my life, good and the bad. So, but my friends, I hope you're all having a wonderful Wednesday. I hope that you are trying to attain those goals that you are setting for yourselves. I know it's not easy, but this is the only life that we have, We want to make the best of it. Let's try not to, put others down. Try to be there for people if you can, and help in whatever way you can. Like, it doesn't have to be financial, but like, even a kind word. A kind word can turn, someone's day, from upside down to right side up. So yeah, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day. Keep going. I will see you tomorrow on another Cup of Joe, and we'll cover the ranch years. So, like I said, I'm not gonna reveal all details. I'm gonna leave some things vague just because. But suffice to say, I kind of want to be as honest as I can, because how can I possibly reach out to somebody if, hey, I've been there, man. I get it. I have an idea of what you struggle with. So I don't have the answers, but I understand. So, all right. Well then. Also, I did just kind of want to mention too, like, I was thinking about this the other day, when it comes to ideas of sex, whatever, whether it be homosexuality, trans, like, things that we struggle with, like, even when it comes to religion, I think we would all get along a lot better if we just were like, hey, this is what I struggle with. Like, not so much struggle with, but like, these are the things that, instead of trying to hide things that may just seem odd or weird, like, be more open about some things, just be honest about it. Like, I think we would probably get along a lot better, at least in society, especially when, because more likely those people that are super anti-homosexual are probably those that are struggling with it themselves. So, I have a better understanding and a better love for that, because I know, I've struggled with that myself. So, I mean, I myself am not attracted to men, but there is a time where I didn't know. So, but I think that we can also, I think we would all be a lot better off if we just were like, hey, this is me. I don't know. That was just a random thought. And obviously there's going to be some things that aren't good. So, but at the same time, I think if we can, rather than trying to hide things, if we can catch things sooner, maybe we can help more people, and we can prevent tragedies from happening as well. So, rather than promoting a society of secrets, I mean, secrets are necessary too, but the thing is people are struggling. They don't want to talk about it because they feel like they're outcast, or they feel like they're weird. And I think really what I want to try to show is that, look, bro, we all deal with stuff, sister, I'm there with you. There's things that I do, view as right and wrong, and yeah, some of that comes from the religion of, the lens of religion, but again, those are my beliefs, but it doesn't mean that I haven't struggled with those thoughts and haven't struggled with those things. And, like, we all have our own path to walk in life. This is your life, this is your path, like, you choose to walk it. You can ask me what direction you should go, and I can point you, but whether you go or not, that's not up to me. I'm not going to judge you for the way you go. That's not my job. My job is to love you. And that's what I want to try to, open up. I want to try to open up some people's eyes to maybe something that they never really realized or maybe even thought of. And I don't know. Guys, I really don't know. I know that I'm here for a reason. So maybe I can help some of you. I don't know. But alright, guys. Well, until tomorrow, may all of your stories be glad ones, and may your roads be smooth and sure. I'll see you tomorrow in the next episode of A Cup of Joe. Bye-bye.